welcome to MGP505. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna, and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
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 Twice during that, I forgot what I was going to say next and just had to let my mouth go with it, but it seemed to know what it was doing. There was micro pauses within that intro today. I can see them on my wave pattern. I don't normally micro pause like that.
I wish you would. I wish you'd just always micro pause that little bit more.
I prefer to just go in full flow. This is why they call me One Take Kev. I even have a One Take Kev Twitch emote.
No, what they're actually saying is take one, Kev, and you're leaving with everything bundled under your arms, and you just keep thinking that it's a nickname. You don't really listen. You're rearranging the words. But I bet you've got 4 things stuffed under your arms right now that you should have only taken one of. I
haven't got too much of anything. I've got a lot of fugglers around me at the moment.
I bet you're only supposed to take one.
Someone's just told me fugglers are coming back on Twitter, so I'm very excited. You might have to stop this podcast so I can go and order a load of fugglers.
Well, don't buy them abroad and try and get them through customs, because this numpty pub had his suitcase taken to one side. Was it twice? First time for all the electronics, second time because what on earth is this creature in your bag? And he had to explain, oh, that's a fuggler. I collect them. I like to bring them on holiday with me.
I actually said they're fugglers, because what kind of weirdo would travel with only one? So I said, yeah, they're fugglers.
The way you were casually laughing with the man, me witnessing this without knowing what was going on, he was looking at you with a bit of a judgy kind of eye rolly, ha ha ha, and you were just like casually just laughing away like it was completely normal and reasonable. And then when you told me, oh, he wanted to know what my fugglers were, I was like, he must have judged the heck out of you. That man is there going, I've seen it all today now. You've managed to fox someone whose job is to see what wild and wonderful things people try and smuggle out of the country, and you've just somehow taken the biscuit with fugglers.
On the topic of fugglers, I've just looked on the website, and they do in fact have new ones. It's a new range called Budgie Fugglers. As you can see by what I'm just posting in the Discord
That's
now,
amazing.
it's fugglers wearing underpants.
Oh,
it's amazing.
God.
Do you think? Because I thought they'd shut down, hadn't they? They were like going out of whatever.
Yeah, they're back.
And do you reckon, because it's a woman who makes them, I think, as well, isn't it? Do you reckon she was just like going to bed one night, heard someone say budgie smugglers, and just like, as she shut your eyes, went like, budgie fugglers, and then she just brought the whole company back from the brink just with this random idea.
The entertainer bought the brand, apparently.
Oh, God, really? Wow.
So many of them are out of stock. The ones I really want are out of stock because they're amazing.
Who is buying these up other than you? You're the only person in the world who cares that these exist.
Oh,
and
God,
yet somehow they're selling out.
I want the green one.
But he's out of stock. The green one is
No.
amazing.
That is the best fuggler I've seen, actually. That's the only time you've shown me a fuggler, and I've got that and the black one, to be fair. They both look pretty good. I know this is a sound podcast, not one of them visual ones where people can see what we're talking about, but usually I think they're hideous, and I think you're weird for enjoying them, but that green one and that black one look really good. They should do some sort of duet with Gremlins and just make Gremlin fugglers and bring back Gremlins 3 and finally complete the trilogy the way that God intended.
I'm going to have to buy one of each of these, aren't I?
You are. I mean,
I want the green
I'm surprised.
one.
Considering, was this something we were trying to get you to do, or did you actually try and reach out and buy this? I can't remember now.
I think we looked into it, but by that point, the entertainer had already brought the brand.
I remember there being a night where I sat at my computer trying to figure out how you were going to become the owner of Fuggler's Industries or whatever it's called. But yeah, it's a shame. Maybe you have to buy the entertainer instead then.
I mean, if that's what I have to do to own the rights to Fugglers, because I don't understand how there's not movies, cartoons, lunchboxes. They are the greatest toys that have ever been made. If you don't know what Fugglers are, dear listeners, I urge you to Google them and realise how great they are. They are genuinely great.
They are funny looking. Well, I introduced you to them because they bit your finger in the end. Was it the entertainer we were in?
No, we were in Smith's Toys, and you made Keith the Teeth bite me.
It was so funny. He actually screamed.
Oh, they have names. This green one, this green budgie fuggler, is called Count Underoo Magoo. That's his name.
Count what? Magoo?
Count Underoo Magoo.
Oh, God.
God. My hearing seems to have gone right downhill my kids were discussing who was at this event I was at tonight. It was like a school play area thing, and I could have sworn my wife just randomly went, "Was Mjolnir there?" And I was like, "What, Thor's hammer?" And everyone in the car was just like, "What?" And I was like, "You just asked the kids if Thor's hammer was at this event. Like, what on earth?" And then it turned out that's not what she said. She doesn't know what she said, but it wasn't that. And yeah, I think I need my ears testing. I think I'm going deaf. Something's not right there. But I did see Captain America's shield and Spider-Man on the wall, so it could have been there. But whatever you said, gibberish. They look like that. Looks like Oscar the Grouch anyway. That green one, sort of.
Count Underoos Magoo.
Underoos Magoo, yeah, it looks like the Grouch.
Count Underoos Magoo. Give him his title, for goodness sake.
Count Underoos Magoo. Whatever. I've already said it wrong enough times. You know me. I mix up words. I don't know what that's called, but I can't speak straight.
I imagine he's maybe the father of Gaptooth Magoo, who's also in this range. And believe it or not, has a gap tooth. Yeah.
Are counts always parents?
There's this one. Yeah, I think so. There's this one that I think is based after Sheepdog, the wide-eyed weirdo.
That's what they call me.
Amazing stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the highlights of mine and Sheepdog's trip to Barcelona. I got pulled at customs, not at customs, at security, for having Fugglers in my bag. And then we came home, and that was about it. If you want to know more, you need to go and listen to the Best Thing From podcast. It's not actually out this week. We've not recorded it yet. But next week, the Best Thing From podcast. You can go and listen to the Swansea episode, which is already on that feed. But next week, you'll have the Best Thing From Barcelona on the Best Thing From I nearly did it 3 times.
The thing that kind of gets me with that podcast is that the amount of people who haven't been able to find it.
Feel free to use its name just to remind people what it's called, rather than referring to it as that podcast, the podcast we mustn't mention.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's not on the feed that we released like 80 episodes of it on. It's on a new feed with a new logo that's white with blue writing, not the grey one. The amount of people who are like, Sheepdog, this isn't updated anywhere except Spotify. And I'm like, it's because you're looking for the old one. And I thought we'd been clear, but we obviously hadn't been clear at all. It's on its own new feed, which I did tweet.
I mean, if you want to be absolutely certain of finding it, the link to it is in the description of the video. The Best Thing From Swansea video, which is the most recent video still on my vlog channel, because I don't vlog anymore. But there will be a Barcelona video on there very soon as well. So go do it. Go watch it. Go listen to it. Interact with it in any way you can figure out. I mean, I don't use it for special time for all I care. Just interact with the thing, because it cost a lot of money to go to Barcelona. And I even had to buy 2 different cathedral models to bring home because Anna and Andy are ridiculous. And
it wasn't me. I don't have one. He took both of them. So
I sent you a photograph of 2 options for cathedrals and said, which one shall I buy? And your response was both.
Yeah, because I showed the child and I goes, which one? He said both. What more information do you need? He wanted both.
I mean, you could have said, that's not what I asked you.
No, he wanted both. One in silver and one in some stone material. So that's what he's got. Yeah. And now he has them together. So he has a mega cathedral going on.
A mega cathedral. Yeah. So if you want to know what we got up to there, Best Thing From podcast. And of course, the video will be out on my YouTube channel soon. It's going to be a week yet. We'll talk about it a lot more next week. But
yeah, it was good though. We had a great time.
Exciting times. Don't tell them that. They'll figure it out for themselves whether we had a great time. Yeah. We're not going to tell them here. Tell. Yeah, we had a time. And that's probably too much information for me to share.
You're very cold when you got back though, weren't you? Both of you.
Oh, God, yeah. Bear in mind, we were wandering around in shirt sleeves in the Mediterranean sun, and then got back to the airport and there was ice warnings and it snowed the next day. What a ridiculous country this is.
Yeah,
I'm going... this time last week, we were... Well, not even that. 5 days ago, we were at the Camp Nou watching Barcelona play. Tomorrow, I'm going to go and watch Milton Keynes Dons versus Cambridge. What a come down that is, my word.
I was going to say, it's been a weird week. Like, even the hour difference threw me, and I don't know how 2 days of being an hour ahead threw me this much, but it took me days to get back into a bit of a routine, and I don't feel particularly cold ever, but I just didn't feel comfortable, and it just felt weird having to, I don't know, I got in the habit of just gallivanting around looking at stuff. I've been planning trips with Mrs. Sheepdog, which I've always been against traveling around places, but you've given me a bit of actually it's quite good to go get on a plane and fly somewhere for a weekend. We should do this more often
say more things like that with Anna listening, because I'm dragging her to Switzerland in a couple of weeks, so
you'll enjoy it, Anna. I
need to get Anna on more trips.
I've basically been a hermit crab for the past 3 years, and suddenly my bosses were laughing their heads off that I said I'm going to make an effort to go out more. I'm going to Barcelona, and they were like, "That's not like a step. It's a freaking leap. Like, what are you doing, you lunatic?" But when I come back, they eagerly called me on the Tuesday morning, just saying, "How are you doing? How are you feeling?" I was like, "It was all right." I said, "I'm knackered. Like, I'm absolutely destroyed, but I had a good time and survived it." And all of that, so I do feel like I'm good for it. But I think you'll probably feel the same, Ellie. It feels like you're doing the same sort of. Don't want to be out in public. I don't want to be perceived. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And
I don't.
And then I have a funny way of showing it.
That's the problem.
But just
I don't
like
want my knees to hurt.
Walk at your pace. Kev does walk fast. I definitely had to run after him.
Yeah, today I had to run. He goes, "Why are you running?" I went, "Because you're walking very fast."
I mean, we were late for where we were going.
Doesn't matter. I told them we were going to be late. They were fine.
I don't like to be late for things.
I feel like you need to get like straps that go on Anna's back, and you can put your arms through them. Well, and just
I've
carry
suggested. I mean, we're going up into the Alps on one of the days when we go to Switzerland to stand on a glacier, and I've just suggested I'll just put her on a sledge and drag it behind me. I don't mind pulling her around on a sledge.
If you tied that around your waist, it probably wouldn't be any different. It'd be like
exactly.
when you've had a big lunch, wouldn't it?
I'm completely fine with just dragging Anna around on a sledge, as long as I get to stand on a glacier and go up a mountain, because it just sounds awesome.
That is going to be cool. I'm looking to have dogs drag me around on a sled when I go to Norway later this year with my friends, and I'm looking forward to that. Just sitting on a dog sled and, I don't know, watching them run. I don't really know what you do when you're on there. It just sounds like it'll be fun, but I realise
wait and see where the dogs want to go.
I'm there thinking I'll just fire up Pokemon Go and see how many eggs I can hatch on the back of a dog sled. They're not going to be faster than a car, are they? They're going to be that nice in between, 20-odd mile an hour. I'm going to hatch so many eggs. It'd be great.
And of course, all of this means, Pabby, that I'm going to have to drag you on a trip somewhere at some point as well. It's the rules. I've dragged Sheepdog to Barcelona. I'm dragging Anna to Switzerland. You're next on my target list, so make sure your passport's up to date. You're getting dragged on a trip before you know it.
What we're doing? What?
I'm dragging you away on a trip somewhere.
I can't stop looking at this green Fuggler fella.
Oh my god.
Pab's in love.
He's fascinating.
Oh,
For the past 12 minutes, all Pab has had in his head is, why do birds suddenly...
He is a handsome boy. So I can see why he'd be interested in that Fuggler. But yeah, let's stop talking about our travel shenanigans, and we should probably talk about some video games. I genuinely thought... in fact, before we do that, we are now confirmed for MCM Comic Con. We all had our creator passes through this week.
Yes.
So if you were holding off on buying your tickets because you didn't know if you'd get to touch Sheepdog's cranium that weekend, his cranium will now be there. You can touch it as often as you want.
Yep,
Draw on it if you want.
You can try.
But yeah, we are going to be there. And also, I was officially announced for Insomnia this week as well. So I'm also off to Insomnia.
I've had that for like
sooner.
7 or 8 weeks. You know, you're not special. I haven't slept a wink in months.
Well, I'm going to have Insomnia in a casino because I'm going to be staying in the Genting Hotel again because it's cool. And then I'm going to be sleeping above a casino and then not setting foot in the casino because I think that makes me double cool.
Casinos are good. You should go.
no, we shouldn't.
They're full of people gambling.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
No, it's not.
I'd come back with no money.
And
No,
he
you
would
wouldn't.
then
You'd
be
come
in
back
trouble.
like top 3% in the world, and you'd be like, I've done it again.
Yeah, it's old though. I'm fed up of being the best at things. But yeah, I thought I would be coming to the show this week and talking about how I'd finished Fire Emblem Engage. In fact, I think I promised I would come and talk about finishing Fire Emblem Engage, but this game just goes on and on and on. I played it all the way to Barcelona on the plane. I played it all the way back. So there's 4 hours right there of me playing the game. I played it in the hotel both nights before I passed out corpse style under the blankets, as Sheepdog shared on Twitter, because he likes taking photos of people while they're asleep.
I only took that one because you weren't under there when I left the room. We were both sort of getting ready for bed and everything, and you were chilling out, and then I think I just nipped off to the loo, and when I come back, you were just under there like a mummy, completely still. And I thought, like, I knew you were breathing because I could hear the machine, but if the machine weren't there, I'd probably have had to have checked. But I was like, he looks just like he's a crime scene now. It just genuinely seemed like someone had come in, put a sheet over you and tidied up a little bit or something. And I was just like, this is weird. So I took a picture. I thought, well, you can't sue me. No one knows you're under there really, except for the fact I said it was you. No one could confirm that.
I mean, my theory was the best way to sleep with you in the room was mask on so I can breathe under the blanket, eye mask on so I can't see anything, headphones on so I can't hear anything, and then just to double check, blanket over my head so I'm completely shut off from the room. And then it was like you weren't there. You could then go about your business, staying up until 3 a.m., doing your weird little disco that you do, or whatever it is you get up to in the middle of the night, doing your Pab impression that you were talking about all weekend. All he wanted to do, we had to make a special trip to a supermarket so Sheepdog could buy a giant bag of crisps so he could lie in bed eating a big bag of crisps, because that's what Pab does when they share a hotel room, apparently.
You do. I said to Kev, I was like, full well now I've said Pab's done this at least once, he's going to go, have I? Did I?
I don't recall doing.
Yeah,
I might have done.
Pab, you should have heard the bang-on impression of everything you've just said and are about to say that I did to Kev that you're about to now do to prove my point.
Yeah, he wanted to do a Pab impression, so
you probably did it like once, mate. I just remember you having a big bag of crisps and
Possibly.
thinking that man's a genius. I was like, that man knows what he wants in life and he gets it.
Got a big bag of crisps here. Want me to do it now?
There you go. See, I knew it. I knew you'd deny it. I knew you'd be like, have I? That's not a thing.
On. Let me put my mask and my noise-cancelling headphones on so I don't need to be a part of this perversion.
I desperately needed to go to sleep because we were getting up at early o'clock every day, and we were next to people that were shouting things like, I know where you live, B-word, I'll kill you, and stuff like this to each other. But they were all like joking, but they were saying it so loud. And I was just laying there wide awake thinking, you need to invest in some
noise-cancelling headphones, sir.
I'm not sure that I would trust the world if I couldn't hear what was going on. But yeah, I'd probably get used to it.
So yeah, in addition to all of that Fire Emblem playing, I've played it like at least 3 nights this week. I've given it like 3 hours this evening. I must have put another 15 or so hours into this game this week. And I'm still not at the end. It just goes on. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It is awesome. I am having a lovely time. The story keeps getting deeper and deeper. The battles, it's just, I love them anyway. I could just go and carry on doing these battles forever and ever and ever. It's just, apparently I found my genre of games and it's this one. And I don't know why I haven't been playing them for years. But I just don't think I'm ever going to finish it. I think I'll be talking about, this is becoming my Mass Effect. I'm doing my Sheepdog impression where I'm just talking about this same game every week. And I don't really have anything new to say about it. It's still brilliant. I still love it. I mean, I must have done over 40 hours on it now, and I'm not done. And I don't know when I'm going to be done. And it's awesome. Go if you haven't played it and you've got a Switch, you are a buffoon. Go and get Fire Emblem Engage. 'Tis great.
See, I think it sounds great, but I get put off by the amount of hours. Like I was looking probably 2-3 days ago at the Persona 3 download on Game Pass and was like,
see, I've got that sat on my Switch ready to go. That's how much I'm enjoying Fire Emblem. I've never played Persona 3 and I still haven't started it because I'm still playing this. That is next in my queue. I can see the icon sat there looking at me.
See, the premise, like they have a little tagline or whatever, and I thought, see, that's the sort of thing that would definitely get me up for it. It sounds intriguing. But it says on Game Pass, if you try and just mainline this, it's going to take you 68 hours. If you're a completionist, it can take you 150 hours. And I'm just like, I'm kind of in between the two. I'm not good enough to be a mainline sort of person, but I will try and get more stuff once I understand the game. I'm going to go out my way to try and do as much of it as I can. So yeah, I'm a little bit like, do I really want to start a 100+ hour game? No, I don't know. I don't know how I'd fit it in, but you're fitting them in, and you do way more work than me. So I don't know. Maybe that's the thing.
Do you
But,
mean? Wait.
well, I know. I mean, he creates stuff all the time, doesn't he? I know I have a job.
You just cut out the Pokemon, and you'll have loads of time.
See, but the thing is, I don't do Pokemon while like specifically doing Pokemon. I do it while I'm doing other things.
Yeah, but you do it in your sleep. You just don't know you're doing it anymore.
Well, no, it's like my go-to kind of crutch thing. I mean, I feel like Kev will confirm that I did have it on a lot while we were over there.
Yeah.
But the reason I had it on while we were over there was because I was anxious about being robbed. My parents and everyone I know kept telling me that Barcelona's like a pickpocket capital of the universe. So I went with only my wallet with 2 cards in it and my phone, and I held my phone the whole time. And anytime I felt a little bit, I just played Pokemon Go. And that meant I was a little bit off the whole time, but I was on Pokemon Go a lot in the background and stuff, which is probably what keeps happening in London and stuff. I just have it as like a bit of a distraction. I just look at that and do that. At home, I don't really play it that much. I know that sounds unbelievable, but I don't have it on at my house all the time seeing what's here, because it's like sometimes I'll have it on, but I don't really bother with it. I just, when I'm a bit nervous, I'll get on it. I think that's probably a sign that I'm getting a little bit kind of like, but no one ever really picks up on that. They just assume that I'm, being an idiot. But no, I just think when I get games like that, I end up putting them into like when I was playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and that's not as long as these games, but what I was doing was playing it like every Sunday afternoon for 4 or 5 hours, let's say. I wanted to get a good chunk of time into it, and that was the only time I could really fit in. And I don't like the idea of trying to do 4 or 5 hours on a 100-hour game, because that's going to take me 6 months to play, isn't it? It's going to be like 6 months of me dipping in and out of this game. I mean, that would probably be a good thing in one way, but it just feels like it would dominate everything then, wouldn't it?
I know what you mean, but I mean, I think it'd be all right to do.
I mean, to be fair, I did put like 180 hours or whatever, 150, 60 hours into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, you did.
Without really noticing. So maybe I can fit it in. I just need to
Put it on a
do
handheld.
it. Yeah. How much was it on the Switch, Kev, the Persona games?
An amount of money, probably.
An amount you don't want Anna to know.
I mean, an amount I genuinely didn't look at. I was buying it regardless. It could have been $3,000. I don't know.
Kevin.
Interesting. I know what you mean, so. Because part of me is like, look, I don't mind getting them if they're not ridiculous. I do already own Persona 4 on the Vita. So I could always play. I could always dust my Vita off. But I don't want to buy them if they're on Game Pass and they're right there and I could play them on that,
like it's on the Nintendo eShop for $17.99.
Oh, that's not too bad at all. Interesting. Okay.
That's bargain-tastic.
Yeah, that is bargain-tastic. Have you played anything else, Kev, by the way? Because I was going to start talking.
Only more Football Manager. Football Manager and Fire Emblem. Apparently, I only play the F games at the moment.
Yeah, we don't steal too much of my game that I'm about to talk about. But as you know, I prepared for the flight by downloading Football Manager 23 Touch on the iPhone and iPad. And I didn't start it until we were on the plane, and the plane was about to take off. And I thought, I forgot I downloaded this. To be honest, I'm such a cheapskate. I only got it because my wife had already bought it on her phone, and I knew I could get it for free by going into the family share, which, yeah, is tight, I know. But it was cool. I was quite pleased that was a thing, because I'd forgotten that was a thing until that moment, and I was like, let's get it. I think I also downloaded it while the plane was about to take off, something stupid like that, which was a theme for the weekend. I kept just I updated my phone before the plane took off as well, and
when he needed his boarding, I had to find his boarding pass on my phone because he was doing an iOS update as we were trying to get on the aeroplane. Do not travel with this man.
What specifically happened was we were sat in the airport lounge, and I said, Kev, my phone has just said, do I want to do the iOS update? I should click no, right? And he said, we'll have time. So I clicked yes, and then it just took forever. And we got to the gate, and Kev had to give them the pass that he'd printed a copy of for safety to get us through. And then literally, like, after he'd given the pass over and we walked through the door, my phone was like, "Oh, I'm updated now. I'm back." Whee! And Kev was just like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Kev, I literally asked you. I literally was just like, should I press the button?" I knew I shouldn't have, but I just felt like maybe it would happen in time, and it
Don't
didn't.
listen
But
to
anyway,
Kev when it comes
exactly.
to these things.
But I always assumed Football Manager Touch on the phone was, I mean, it is watered down Football Manager, but I assumed in my understanding of that was, well, it's probably not worth playing, and it's watered down in the sense that it's just going to be half baked and it's just going to feel a bit ropey and you're not going to get very far in it or whatever. I kind of assumed it was limited on how many seasons you could do and stuff like that. But when I loaded it up, it said in this game, you get 30 seasons. You know, yes, you can get sacked before, and if you're rubbish and that kind of thing. But if you do well and you play it through and it's your career, you get 30 seasons. You get 30 season career, a lifetime as a football manager to just crack on and play. And I was like, okay, that straight off the bat feels like it's a good sign that it's not, oh, you play 3 seasons and then the game's kind of run out of space and whatever and it's broken. It's properly set up for me to have a legacy in the world that I'm creating on here. So I joined the Spurs and I was like, okay, it's a bit different in that I always like to sort of sack all the training staff and then get a load of 5-star coaches in and build this, that, and the other. But it limits you to having 4 coaches, and those coaches have like a word that they're specialized in, like attacking or defending or set piecing or fitness, and you can't have one of each. You can only have the 4 that you get. And so there's little limitations like that. So I've obviously looked at it and they've cut things here and there to make it fit and work on a phone. I thought to myself, this will be all right for half an hour while I calm down on the plane, and then I'll probably fall asleep. And we landed in Barcelona, and I was like shocked that I'd been on a plane for 2.5 hours, I think was the journey, and then we had to wait for another hour once we landed. But I was actually quite shocked when we landed that the time had gone. I'd been so engrossed in setting up my little Spurs team and going at it in that I was just like, seriously, I've gone through a whole flight. And the exact same thing happened on the way back. I started it up, and then I said to Kev, how far do you think we've gone now? And he was like, we've been in the air at least 2 hours. And I don't think I said it out loud, but in my head I was like, it happened again. What on earth? Like, I thought to myself, we must be about halfway at most, and we'd pretty much done it. I'd been so engrossed. And again, both times I'd intended to have a sleep and didn't. I played it all the weekend in the evening when Kev was sort of going to sleep and that. I sat playing it. I got really hooked on it when I got back. I spent, I think, like the whole of Monday playing it when I got back because I was just knackered laying on the sofa playing it. A couple of times I've looked at the time and realised it's 2 a.m. and I'm still playing it, and I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, I need to sleep. But it is fantastic. As far as my feeling with Football Manager is I like the PC version because it's really engrossed and detailed and there's lots of new features. But this is like the old days when, you know, you didn't have to worry about how the players felt so much. They did have a bit of, I'm unhappy with what you just did. You've sent me to the reserves. You've tried to offer me to other clubs. I'm unhappy. But when you say to them, oh, you know, good effort in training, they don't have a hissy fit and then ruin your entire season because you gave them a compliment. You know, it just goes, oh yeah, cheers, boss. And then they're quite happy for the moment. Or if you upset them, they're upset for a minute. It feels much more like the old days with a lot of the gumph taken out of it. I don't have to sit and have an argument with a bloody reporter, which I know you can turn off in Football Manager, but I feel like if you turn stuff off in the main game, I feel like you lose stuff. Maybe you don't. Maybe it works just fine, but I feel like you're not getting the proper experience or the proper benefits of that stuff if you don't work the media or if you don't work the training. And in this, it's just cut back to a bit where I could just set it up. But the fact that I did put the effort into making sure I was happy with the training, I got a couple of extra people in, means that I basically took Spurs to winning the league, winning the Carabao Cup, winning the Europa League, because I was in that rather than the Champions League, winning the Super Cup. I've won more trophies with Spurs in my second season as their manager than like the managers of the past 20, 30 years in real life have. It's been great. I've had a fantastic time with it. And I feel like it just reminds me of classic, the old days. If you played sort of Championship Manager or the early Football Managers, it's like that, but with a few little bits thrown in, a few little changes. Some bits are slightly snipped back, but as far as I'm concerned, you click continue, it loads onto the next bit. It's very quick. You go into the games, the matches, you set your team up, tactics, all that sort of stuff. It's just not overcomplicated. I can understand it. I'm following it. Part of that, I think, is having an attention span as well, being able to actually focus on what's being said. I remember saying to Kev, it's quite fun playing Football Manager and actually reading what it says on the screen rather than ignoring it like I've always been doing, because I just couldn't handle reading all the text. But No, I'm having the time of my life with it, and I'm really enjoying being a decent manager at it again, like I used to be back in the day. And I think that's because it's still got its challenges. I still had to figure out a good team, but I don't know. It's just like when Football Manager was super fun and easy to pick up and put down, and I've been hooked on it because of that. And yeah, I know I've just done however long on Football Manager Mobile, but it is great, and I love it, and everyone should get it.
You saved me having to correct you right at the end there because you said Touch, and Touch is a different game.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, this is Football Manager Mobile. Football Manager Touch is the one that you can play anywhere across Apple Arcade, and it magically works between all the different devices, which is very clever. But,
Well, this has cloud save. I played it on my iPad and my iPhone.
Yeah, but you can't just magically have it appear on your TV or your MacBook.
All right,
and
interesting.
It all just magically work across all of them.
Cool.
Plus, you get the 3D match engine on Touch, but you have to be subscribed to Apple Arcade for that one. So, FM Mobile is the one you pay for once up front, and then have sheepdog fun and apparently live in a fantasy world where Spurs can win something.
I know. My mate told me the other day, we were talking about how if Spurs ever won anything, the universe would probably just cave in on itself. And then when I was telling him what I'd won, he was like, well, congratulations on destroying an entire universe. Well done, you know. But yeah, no, it was great. The only other thing I've really touched on was that I've forgotten his bloody name. The game I talked about before, what was it called? Merge and Blade. I played more of that myself, which, I mean, the music on that's very addictive because it's just like very sort of, it's a little bit repetitive, but it just gets stuck in your head. It drills into your brain. But I tried to get Ben, my 5-year-old, on it, thinking it's a 3+ game. It's quite simple to do. You only have to move stuff left and right. He was really up for it, and then because you have to swap stuff around and the game just gets a little bit silly with that, he couldn't do it and he got really upset. And I sort of thought to myself, why the ratings on stuff needs to factor in how likely a 5-year-old is to be able to read it and do the things as quickly as they want, because telling me a game is for 3+, I was like, oh yeah, he'll be all right with this, and then he couldn't do it at all. And I know that what they're saying is there's nothing offensive in here and a 3-year-old won't cry about what they see in this game, but it's, I don't know. Games could do with a second rating that says don't give this to a little kid. I thought he'd be all right with it, to be honest. I was a bit surprised when he couldn't do it, but even with a bit of practice, it was just too quick for him. And I just thought, that's annoying now, because I had it in my head that this would be perfect for his age group because he's a bit older than 3. But no. I mean, I knew that a 3-year-old wouldn't be able to do it anyway, and I don't want to sound like I'm being a muppet, but I don't know. I just felt a bit like we were both like, okay, you've been able to play the other games that were aimed at kids, like Paw Patrol, Peppa Pig, that kind of thing. This is just a little clicky game. You press the A button a lot, but no, it was just too difficult for him to get. And it could do with a bit of a accessibility tweak to it. So if people, it doesn't have any features where you can turn stuff down or slow stuff down and that kind of thing. So I just kind of wanted to mention that. Otherwise, it's a good little game. It's fun. It's on Game Pass. Again, it doesn't cost anything if you've got that. So yeah, that's me done.
Play an advert, Pab. It's
Whoa.
an emergency. Thanks, Pabby. That was a good advert.
You're welcome.
I'd like to make sure everybody's awake.
Everyone was awake, but you again went past the sound barrier.
I think that was actually my voice cracking rather than
Why was your voice cracking? You're
'cause
40.
I exploded from nowhere. I didn't know it was going to happen. I just started shouting. Sometimes this happens.
See. Wow. Well, it was yeah. You lost your voice a minute for a second there.
That happened to me when Spurs got into the Champions League final. I made such a loud noise, my voice box just popped, and I couldn't speak for a few days. It was wild. I was like, pop, just gone. Everyone thought it was hilarious.
Have they won something then recently?
No, they haven't. When they got into a final, that's how excited I was about them potentially getting into something. It was because they scored like a last gasp. They were 3-0 down, and then they scored 3 goals, which meant they went through. And it just happened out of nowhere on a terrible night, and my voice just exploded, and that was it. But yeah, anyway, games. Have you and Pab played anything?
Nothing spectacular. It snowed a lot this week, so I decided to go to Iceland in Valhalla. Assassin's Creed, I just started that again. Played 6 hours of it, just because I wanted to be in the snow because it was snowing outside. It was delightful.
You know, you could have just gone outside.
But it's cold, you see, and I can't go around riding a horse in the fields and the snow.
I strongly disagree. I suggested that just today.
I don't think any of my lower body would like me on a horse at the moment. My knees would shatter. Yeah, so I just put that on, like, started it again, and just played 6 hours in the snow. It was delightful. I had a very nice time. And then I went to go and play it, like, full my my proper account, and haven't touched it since. So I was going to go back to my 125 hour save, and then just haven't. So I played that for like a day, and then now I'm sitting here because I keep seeing it being advertised to me. I really want to play the new one, so I'm playing Diablo 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing that again from the start. It's on season 27. I don't know what a season is, but that's what I'm doing. And apparently you have to start again and just go through it. And I'm playing as Demon Slayer and just go through it. This game has not had a PS5 upgrade though, and I thought it would have.
No, probably not.
No, because like everything, it is old. Like I think it was when I put it on, it was like 2014. I was like,
Sounds about right, yeah.
And it wouldn't let me
right.
use my old save file. I had to delete my save file from whatever before, because like I installed it, I did the download, it said press any button, press the button, and it was like, no, you can't play this, you got to update. I was like, well, I've just updated. Try pressing it again. It's like, no, you got to delete save files. So I just go into my storage, go onto the PS4 storage, go down that whole list, find it and delete it, and then it would let me play it. So I don't know what they've done with the old version, but this is now a newer version that won't let you use your old version. So go figure. But yeah, I'm just going around playing. I found the black mushroom already. I always find the black mushroom, and I know it opens the cow world. I just don't know how to open the cow world. But that does sound fun to find. Because apparently it goes all like fantasy and beautiful and pixie like, and there's cows in it. And I've never been able to do it, but you do need the black mushroom, and you can only find that on like the first like cathedral level. So you have to like go and find it. But that is me. That's all I've done. Because I'm boring and going through a mental block of joy of games at the moment. So that's me.
There's not a lot out. I'm not gonna
No.
lie. There's not a lot
going on.
I think stuff is gonna start moving soon. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't think what that is, but I feel like
You've
there
got
is games
Dead
coming in it.
Island 2 coming out. There's the new Star Wars thing coming out. You got Resident Evil 4 remake
Yes, that's
coming
coming out in the start of April. Yeah, that's right.
Everything is like April
There's a
time.
demo out now, isn't there? Have you tried
Yes,
the demo?
yes, that came out yesterday, I think.
You downloaded it?
No, I will watch someone play it. I will not play it after
me too. Me too, I'm
after the
afraid.
new one with is it Mr. X in it? After I saw that come after me, I will never play another Resident Evil game. I used to love them when I was a kid. Love them. Like I had them on the PS. I want to say 1 and 2, and like I Code Veronica X, and I loved them. Like finding the keys and passwords and stuff, like Dino Crisis. So I also loved them. I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole now because I don't like horror. Like Diablo is just a shoot 'em, and that's not a horror. I don't like psychological horror, like things coming after you. I can't be doing with that. It'll stress me out. And the fact that you can't, like in the old whichever one it was, you couldn't kill him, just stressed me out. So I will rather watch someone play it. And I love as much fun as playing it myself, but I'll just watch someone else do it because I'll find that better for my mental state. Because I can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
I've
I think
lost-
I'm the same. So yeah, can't handle them. Can't handle that.
No,
Don't like
not
running out of
anymore.
bullets. I can't do it. That's what I don't want. If you just give me unlimited bullets, I'm more likely to play it.
Yes.
He goes, "You've got 6 bullets and you've got to kill like 8 zombies." Like, how?
Yeah, I've seen the demo and there's a lot of enemies near the end, and I'm like, no, thank you. Like, apparently there's like a melee action now that you can do. Like, they'll go at you, parry them,
Yes, you can
and then you
parry
can melee
things,
them in the
yeah.
head. That looks fun, but I don't want to play it still. Not for me, thank you.
So yeah, I'm on a similar boat as you, Anna. I've not played a lot either, realistically. I went back to an old game that I always find myself going back to, just in little bursts. So I've started hearing podcasts discussing Like a Dragon Ishin. And that sounds like a good game. It sounds like a good Yakuza game.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
I was like, you know what's a good Yakuza game? Is Yakuza Like a Dragon, which I never finished. I played nearly 20 hours of it. I haven't finished it.
I got stuck. I was fighting a digger of some sort, and I just can't get past it. I know that sounds strange to everyone. Yes, it was like a digger that you see in the construction yards, but I could not take it out, so I finished with that game. But yeah, that's where my
I need to play more of it because it's so good.
It is very good.
I mean, I played. I feel like I did a lot of watching cutscenes again. I played a little bit of it.
Yeah, the start of it is very, very much cutscene. You have to wait like a good couple of hours for it to start going again, and then when it goes, it's fun. But yeah, there is a lot of cutscenes in this game at the start, anyway.
It's just it plays itself so seriously, even when absurdity is happening.
Yeah,
and it's always bizarre. It's always bizarre. I mean, I started this game homeless.
Yeah.
What did I do? What did I do? I feel like I've done so many different jobs.
Did you move into a brothel?
I moved into a soapland, yes. Moved into a soapland. Became security at a soapland.
Yeah.
And recently I've now become the head of a confectionery store.
Yes, yeah.
And now I'm like running the markets, and I've got to start watching the share index and the top. I've got to stay in the top 100 of the share index, else the guy who I'm loaning the money off of comes after me, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake! So now I'm watching graphs and stuff like this, trying to. I
would love it.
It's all a management sim then, so I had to fathom out how to get my expenditure down. So I get this. So I sacked.
You sacked the chicken, did you?
I sacked the employees. I then put an elderly grandmother in who was part time as like the managing director, and then hired a chicken.
Yes,
and the chicken now earns me more money than the two previous employees did. The chicken's getting employee of the month so far. Doing a great job.
Yeah, you can employ a chicken. It's
Of course you do.
Such a stupid game.
Because he works for literal
peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, literal them.
He's saving me loads of money, that chicken, and he's awesome. Doing a great job.
Yeah, the chicken's good.
Yeah, I enjoy. I don't play turn-based combat, but this is all right. This is okay.
Yeah.
Turn-based combat, and then I noticed. I don't know whether it's always been there, but there's an auto button in the bottom corner. I just let it play out. I just press left trigger, and it does auto, and then they just all go and do the thing. They just all do, deploy the moves that they think they should do, and I just watch it.
Maybe I should try that then.
I don't even do anything
with this stupid digger I've got to.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe I'll go
I feel
back
like sometimes
and have a
I
look.
spend my time overthinking things and what I need to do, but I just pressed auto and just sat back and watched it happen, and I was only beating general street folks, but still.
Yeah, because I was enjoying the game up to this stupid digger thing I had to take on. I was like, what? Like, it's a digger. How am I supposed to? Like, we got like the wrecking ball coming out my head. I'm like, yeah, that's not healthy for anybody.
I mean, imagine that sounds like a boss fight, doesn't it? Is that a boss fight?
Yeah.
See, I don't know whether I mean, I assume Auto will still be on a boss fight. I don't know. It might not be, but yeah, it just goes. And like I say, I feel like I didn't play that much of it in the grand scheme of things. I feel like I played 2 hours, but I probably played probably about 20 minutes of that 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was just watching cutscenes and looking at graphs. 'Cause I had to go. This is like what 16 hours into the game, and I'm getting a new tutorial on this new mini game type thing of something else that I need to do.
Yeah.
There's so many different things in it, and it's just bonkers. Like I think what I just finished, there was some sort of money laundering scheme where there was some gang that I was trying to infiltrate.
Yep.
So I was working in a warehouse, and they were printing money. And I'm like, what? I feel like I've lost the plot. But also, even if I was following the plot, I wouldn't 100% follow what was going on.
No.
It seems insane. Every time I come out, I'm like, wait, so I'm managing a confectioner's. I'm trying to like foil a gang's like money laundering scheme. I'm also trying to keep up a soapland, which the manager has committed suicide in suspicious circumstances. And so you're trying to manage that, also while trying to deal with protesters who are trying to shut you down. So you end up having to beat them up, and all while wandering around this cool Kamurocho, Japan. It's so nice to look at and just run around and it's just bizarre, but I really like it. I like it, and I don't play it enough. But it's like Sheepdog saying, it's the sort of game that is massive, and I could play it for 2 hours at a time, and I'm not doing it justice. I feel like I need to give it more time to do it.
Yeah,
because I can't keep
keep
it together of what's going on. Yeah, and I was thinking of Sheepdog while I was playing this, because Sheepdog was saying he was angry at the new Final Fantasy being all action based and no turn based combat, and I was like, Sheepdog would probably like this, and I was thinking, did Sheepdog play this?
I did, yeah. I played.
I thought you
Black
did.
Dragon. I didn't finish it, but
No.
I made the mistake of trying to stream it, and there's obviously too much story talking to really let people watch that while you play. It's not a streaming game. I need to go back to it. I did really enjoy it, and if the new Final Fantasy is going to be like that, I probably will enjoy it more than I expect. To be fair, if that's what you're saying, like if the battling's
I don't know. I just remember you saying that the Final Fantasy was more action based,
more like God of
15.
War, which I get. People love God of War, but I was kind of there with that. I was thinking, can't they just make another game that's a God of War style game, but it's fantasy rather than taking the just about a JRPG a stretch style game and making it into that instead?
I don't know why. I just assumed that they would kind of push more towards the Final Fantasy VII remake kind of way they played it, because that was, I thought, came across very popular, and you could do turn-based combat in that, couldn't you? You could switch it on and off, couldn't you? I'm sure you could in the remake. That sound right? I didn't play it. I just
What, the Final Fantasy VII remake?
Yeah.
You mean? I think that it did let you change what you did. Yeah, it did let you change the
So I
style.
assumed. I mean, to be fair, they might do that, because this is only reports that we're hearing about. It might be like God of War. They might actually have a system in there that lets you pick and choose whether you do either or. So I don't know. But I've not seen much on the Final Fantasy. It's not my thing. Final Fantasy's never been my thing. So
I mean, the funny thing for me is I feel like I'm saying, "Oh yeah, it's my thing," and then I'm like, I haven't enjoyed one since like 12. I mean, I enjoyed 15 enough, but
I mean,
we're on
12's not that
16
long
now.
ago, but
Well, it isn't. It isn't.
It
Because I
is,
didn't
it is,
play 11, and I didn't play 14. Although that's
well, they
obviously
were
very
both online,
popular.
weren't they? Oh, there was 12
Yeah.
online.
I
don't know.
13 was just terrible, and 15 was fun, but it was unfinished. And I didn't mind it being shorter because, like we mentioned before, longer games kind of put me off. But I was still kind of like, there was a lot. There wasn't much depth to it. Like all the other Final Fantasy games before that, I've played through multiple times. Whereas I don't have any intention to play 15 again. And I read that 16's they've announced 16 something like 35 hours long, but it's going to have something like 12 hours worth of videos in it. And you're like, what? Okay, so I mean, that's probably not the end of the world. It makes it feel like you're going to be sat there watching a full-on hour-long cutscene or something, but I don't know. Maybe it won't be as bad as it sounded. I just thought I don't really want to have to watch several films during the course of playing this game.
No,
I just want to play a game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
We'll see when it comes out, though. I'd always assumed that would be the one that would push me to get a new PlayStation, and then when I read about it, I was like, I don't know. Don't know if I really care that much to buy a whole new console for it, or a whole old console for it at that point. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably get the hankering to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yeah, I will too. The Type Train on build, and I'll be like, oh yeah, this looks good. It's got God of War combat. What else have I played then? I've played new games. No, not new games. Get two games that have new seasons started. The new season of Fortnite has started today. And I've played the first few hours of it. I played 2 or 3 hours, and it's the same as usual for me. Don't like it. Don't like it. I don't like this. There's snipers are back in it, and the amount of times I'm clumsy, and I'm too busy gawking around going, what's over here, sort of thing, nosing around at home. I've been headshot and dead, and it happens far too often. I've got to get used to being much more sneaky. There's a whole new mega city that's like Neo Tokyo, kind of like a bit Blade Runner a little bit, with like hologram, a bit cyberpunk even. That's more of what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, and there's like grind rails that you kind of grind around the city, and there's big giant skyscrapers, and
I do like a grind rail.
Sorry?
Say. I like doing grind rails in games.
It seems all right. It's the new season. This new season has started today, so every single game, the entire cities are just packed. So there's little point playing or trying to play in those zones, because it's just bombarded with people. And every time we landed anywhere near the new area, you lasted probably about a minute, maybe, because you just can't fight multiple, like 30, 40 people. Oh, it's insane. Yeah, we'll continue to play it. I think the new character in it is the character for the season pass is a Attack on Titan character. Is there a main character of Attack on Titan?
No,
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like something Sheepdog might know, but I don't know.
Sorry, I missed the question there.
You watch Attack on Titan?
I haven't yet. No, do you know? I think I watched the first one, and I was a bit tired, so I didn't finish it. But I know a couple of people who swear by it and say it's great. So
yeah, there's a character. There's a character from Attack on Titan in there, is like one of the main guest star for the season. And you've got like cool. the weird like grapple hook things that they've got, and you can fling around on them apparently. And there's a sword in the game, and I was just getting used to getting rid of the hammer, which is just like a basic way of traversal. But now there's a sword that you can kind of teleport around with, and I was like, oh, come on, take this stuff out. Just give us the shooty stuff. Stop giving us swords and hammers and stuff. But we'll adapt. I shall continue to tinker with it, and I'll get better at it. I will eventually. And the other thing I've played is Marvel Snap has a new season again. I said I wasn't giving him my money for the next season, and then the season rolled up and I went, well, I've been playing it a lot. And then really think about it, I was playing it a lot because I was nearly at the end of I had 2 days left on the season. I'd done next to nothing in it, so I was just like hammering it. But I continue to enjoy it. This season, I mean, last season was Ant-Man and based for obvious reasons, because of the film coming out. This season is Days of Future Past based, so I think there's a Wolverine variant in there, and there's some new cards in there that I have never heard of before. And the thing is, for me, is that I'm rubbish at building decks, so I just, like last season, I just had a really bad deck, and I didn't know how to go about like fixing, like making a good deck. I've got too many cards now to pick from to put in this deck, and usually each season is like they adjust the way the gameplay is based around sort of based around the cards and the zones that appear in it. So I have like an all or nothing deck basically. It's a bit of a glass cannon where if I don't get the cards, it's pretty much a write-off. Or if I do get the right cards dropped for me, then the enemy's in trouble. The opponent is going to get a big surprise. I mean, to be fair, I have had 2 or 3 people just leave immediately since I started. And I was like, I don't know why. I've not even got to the good cards yet. But it's a fun game to play on your phone. The games are like literally 5 minutes at the most, and it doesn't rip your battery to pieces. This is why I don't play phone games, is because I don't want my phone destroyed by, just by a game. I can't be doing with it. And I think I'm not. This is the only money I'm putting into. I'm not buying, currency or anything like that. But I'm continually moving up the player levels or whatever it is. Every time you go up like however many levels, you get coins or you unlock a new card or whatever it is. And I've got tons of new cards. Then you can change the rarity of the cards and what colour they are, and if they're 3D or holographic, and all different shiny logos, all that sort of thing. And I like doing it every day. It's just a nice thing to do. Like, just for 5 minutes, if you got a spare 5 minutes here and there. And I will continue to play.
And this is a phone game.
It's a phone game. It's on Steam as well, but it's pretty much the phone client. It's you open it up on Steam and it just shows. It's like you've got a big phone screen in front of you. It's like a rectangular middle bit. It's just there, and it works fine. And you can log in with your Apple account or your Google account. So either way, your progress continues through Steam. But yeah, I just like the card game. It's a good game. It's from the people who made. It's from the people who made Hearthstone, who made this. So they know how to make a good game, good card game, and it won tons of awards last year. But I'll continue to play it, and I know I won't finish the season pass because I don't play it anywhere near as much as I did the first season that I got into it. But I'll probably get halfway maybe, and I'll probably have to just be happy with that and get my money's worth out of it. But I do like just working through a battle pass. I don't know whether that's just something that
How much is it a month?
I think it's like $8.99.
Oh, it's not too bad then. It's not.
It's not horrendous, and
No.
I don't know whether it's. I don't know whether it's exactly a month. I think it's a bit more than a month, but it's like probably 35 days or something like that. I don't know. I might have been just a short month, maybe. That's why it went pushed into the Monday or Tuesday of this week. So it might have been because it was a shorter month.
Maybe, yeah.
But other than that, I don't think I've been playing anything else. I keep saying I'm going to turn
the
the place.
It's a slow time.
There's no snow here.
No snow?
No, there was like a light dust in the snow this morning, but it's all gone. There's nothing here.
We had a few, maybe 2 or 3 inches on what day we're on Thursday. That mostly melted Wednesday, sorry. Mostly went by Thursday, and then last night we had like another inch of snow, and now that's all gone as well because it got warm. So it was fun though. I got to go and play in the snow with the dog, so that made me happy.
Yeah,
he does like the snow. He's a fan.
Yeah, nothing there. I'm afraid it was.
Wow.
Well, it was cold. Oh, I knew about it. It was cold.
Oh yeah,
it was. I knew it was.
Cold.
It was freezing, but yeah, not a lot of snow really. But it's what it is. But other than that, like I say, I don't think I've played much else. I keep threatening to put the PlayStation on, and the PlayStation occasionally emails me going, "There's new PlayStation Plus games." I'm like, yeah, I need to do that. I need to upgrade. I need to do the PlayStation Plus games, claim them. And then I saw something on TikTok, and he's like, "What? Look at this hack or something where you can the games library." Sorry.
You can download them by how you get monthly games.
Yeah.
If you have the app, you can just do it on your phone, and you don't have to
Oh,
turn the
I didn't even
PlayStation
think
on.
about that. Yeah, but I tend to do it just so it gives me an excuse to listen if there's any sales on as well. So I tend to just do that as well. But it says that I looked at it. There was some hack where it was a hack in whatever. I don't know how true it is because the amount of things I've seen on TikTok that are fake that have me doing it. I spent half an hour trying to do a Rubik's cube the other day. That it just says turn this one anti-clockwise, turn it at a right angle, then do anti-clockwise. Clockwise on this one. I did it for half an hour, and I read the comments, and the comments were all saying, "I wished I'd read the comments before I tried this." And I was like, "Oh, I'd just been doing it. I sat there for half an hour going, it'll work itself out eventually." Doesn't. Anyway, there's some hack where you do, the games library that is going away. If you claim the games in the games library or something, you get to keep. You don't lose access to them. So if you just claim all the games on the games library, was it the PlayStation collection or whatever, the PS4 collection, whatever it was, games library. I think it was the PS4 whenever it launched the PS5, there was like a PS4 games collection. I think it was.
Yeah.
With your PlayStation Plus, and that's going away basically just to stop the confusion with the libraries that come with the extra and premium versions of PlayStation Plus. But apparently, if you claim them or do whatever it is you do with those games library games, you don't lose access to them when it'll all go away. Apparently, I don't know. Truth is, like I say, it's off TikTok, and TikTok is full of nonsense. So I could be completely wrong, and it could just have me just scouring through, just claiming every game on this PlayStation library like an idiot, just wasting my time. That's what they just time wasters. Some people on that TikTok.
If it works, it works. If not, you've lost
if it does,
a few minutes of your day doing the thing.
So I might try that at some point anyway. But yes, that's me. It's been a relatively quiet week for me.
Well, let's wrap things up then, boys and girls. If you want to follow us on the internet, you can do that at MG UK Podcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
And I'm at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab1986.
And we will see you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Toodle pip.
Thank you very much, folks.